Hey, howdy. So, I have a bit of a different idea for a video today. Because the weekly actually goes to... This isn't even the weekly, this is the free expedition. Heads to Wounded Turtle World, which is en route to Voxel Island. And I had something that I had planned, and I think I might just do it now. I'm going to be giving a step-by-step direction on how to get to Voxel Island in 2 different routes. Now, granted, it's more like 1.5 routes because you have to do the longer route to completion in order to unlock the shortcut that makes it a little bit more brief. But I'm going to show everything that you need in order to make this route possible. Before you get started, there are 2 effects that you absolutely need. You need bike, because obviously it's a really long, or three effects rather. You need bike, because obviously it is a very long trip, arguably the longest in the game. Bat, for reasons that we'll get into at a later date, and drum, also for reasons we'll get into at a later date. But drum needs to be prepared in a very special way. So before I do anything, I already have this set up, but for those that don't know, if you interact with this drawer while you're awake, you can enable the favorite effect mechanism, as well as effect shift key. And I have both of them enabled right now, and they're going to be extremely important. And now, once you fall asleep, you want to equip drum and interact with the drawer again. This will set your favorite effect to be drum. Now, whenever I press shift, I can fast swap to drum. Or to whatever I had before I had drum on, which was bike in my case. The next thing you want to do, this is a room it's invisible initially, but you find it's one of the sub-areas off of Urasuki's dream apartments. Now what I can do is I can go in here, find the drum, that's dice, and put it away. For the uninitiated, this is also how you access the endings of the game, but I won't get into that. The important thing is that drum needs to be put away. However, in this state, you can still access drum by quick switching to it, and this will be very, very important. Something else to note that is also going to be very important is that the Nexus has to be blue, specifically blue. And in order to fix it, let's see. You head into Urasuki's dream apartments, and you fall asleep in this bed over and over again until the Nexus is blue. And you can tell through this little crack in the curtains. And from there, let's get started. First stop is Toy World. And we follow this train track a little bit, and we get to the train. Now, if you really want to, you could use cake here, because it has the exact same effect as eating the cheese, but it's a little tiny bit more convenient. But now that we have that, we can ride the train. And we stay in it until it transitions over to Wooden Block World. From here, the route branches out a tiny bit, but my personal preference is to go to Chicken World next. Which is up here. And then from Chicken World, we go up and right a little bit, and we reach Lemon World. And then from here, we go up and left, and we reach Totem Hotel. And once we're in Totem Hotel, we're currently on the 3rd floor. We want to go down to the 2nd floor, and then go all the way down, and on the right, I believe it's the 2nd door? First door. Third door. Ah. That's unfortunate. And we enter the Omurice Labyrinth. Pretty, kind of a dreaded area, because this is the map for it. I'm trying my best to use the map as little as possible to make it easy to follow what I'm doing, but with this area it's kind of hard to not, which is kind of unfortunate. Okay. I'm not going to say the map is outright required, because I don't think the map is ever really required in this game. You could do a lot of things just figuring things out on your own. The map does make things a lot easier in this case, though. I will say, one of the benefits of the secondary route that we'll get to later lets you completely skip Omurice Labyrinth. And then Rotten Fish Lake. This is a fairly straightforward area, albeit really, really weird. Let's see. Nah, I'm not gonna... not gonna make it immediately. Here we are. This little head leads to Trophy Animal Land. Now, I should mention this now because it will be important later. Our destination should be Drumfolk Village. I'm going to take a detour to head to Maroon Grave House. And upon your first visit here, I recommend you do the same. If I head up, there you are. This takes me to Maroon Grave House, which is another place that is just very irritating to navigate. I should just be able to go straight now. There's certainly a logic to areas like this, but I'm not the best at navigating them. But luckily, I have maps. I've become quite the cartographer thanks to this game. Okay. Now we pass through here and we enter Libra Palace. Now, something important to note. Crap. I'm not actually sure if it's autumn or not. I guess we'll see. It is not. Ah, crap. I should have been more careful. So, right here, approximately, will be a little scale, only in autumn. And I'll show you how to check that it's autumn once I start on path 2. But this is mainly just to show that this is here. Interacting with this will permanently unlock a connection between Constellation World and Libra Palace. This is a very important connection, and it allows you to completely bypass Omurice Labyrinth, provided that it's autumn, and provided that you're willing to make the trek through Maroon Gravehouse. But let's backtrack a bit and head back to Trophy Animal Land. Okay, there you are. Alright, now that we're back here, I can head up a little bit. And then your signpost should be this little guy right here. Now swap to drum, and the Drum Folk Village should appear. Now, I have to warn you, there's a reason why we went through all that rigmarole, and it's in this area right up ahead. Silhouette Complex. It's very innocuous at first glance, but this is a quite troubling area. Because if I head up over here, there's a little side area. This passage right here. If you have the drum effect in your inventory, this passage will be blocked off. Meaning, the only way to access this is by having drum in your hot swap and having drum stored away in the trophy room. But from there, we can enter Grand Beach. And this area is also freaking gigantic. I don't know what the can-dwelling shark is, but that's also here. We need to go all the way to the bottom left. And this is going to take a while. I mean, that is kind of it's a running theme. This is arguably the hardest location to reach in the entire game. There's a lot of unintuitive things that you have to do. There's a lot of chance-based things. And there's also just a lot of walking in general. Basement of Abadana Garden, huh? I might have to go visit that. After this, of course. But Abadana Garden's beautiful. Aw, dang it. Now, this turtle right here is our entry point, and I wonder, does it say the chance? 1 in 64 chance. I kind of just have to keep interacting with it until it teleports me. And it's a 1 in 64 chance. That was actually very lucky. And from here, I think is directly to the left. Let's see. Yes. Directly to the left is a passage to Floating Brain World. And then I believe it's up and left from here is our first genuine roadblock. And it's not what you think. This set of pins, spikes, I'm not sure exactly what these are, needles, something like that. The trouble is that there will always be one of them blocking your path. If the nexus is blue, the pin will be here. If the nexus is gray, the pin will be here. So no matter what, you cannot get to that pin in the center in one sitting. However, there is a way around this, albeit a tedious one. If we use the bat effect, just to preview what it does, I can mark a point, walk to somewhere else. It can be anywhere else in this area. Use it a second time, and it will warp me back to where I was. So let's go ahead and mark another point here, and then wake up with Eyeball Bomb. I should have said you should get Eyeball Bomb as well, but while I'm here, I can show off very quickly how you get Eyeball Bomb. And I'll leave a note at the begin. I'll leave a note in the description that you also need Eyeball Bomb. I messed up there. Before that though, hang on. I'm getting ahead of myself. Because first, like I said, it swaps if it's gray. So in order to get further in the area, I need it to become gray. And the way that you advance the RNG state in this game is by sleeping in this bed. Now, I hope it doesn't trigger the Bleak Future event. Alright, we're good. May as well use Eyeball Bomb again to get out, but it's a pretty short walk, even without that. And from here, we can begin the second leg of the expedition, which is admittedly shorter, but it's still a decent walk. And just to real quick, I can show you where you get the Eyeball Bomb effect. It would be up through here, through Day and Night Towers, and then through Day and Night Towers to the mini maze. And the Eyeball Bomb is inside of the mini maze. It's fairly simple to get it once you realize that the map is not exactly telling the truth, and you have to go off of what you see in the weird Doom vision. But my apologies for not saying that you needed that earlier. Either way, our next location that we need to get to is actually not Floating Brain World, at least not the way that you would expect. Our next target is actually Chicken World. Our next target is actually Funeral Prison. And I'll explain why once it becomes relevant. But for now, let's head through Chicken World again, and this time, instead of going to Lemon World, we're heading to Nazca Valley. And give me a moment to pull up the map, because I always forget which one is which. There it is, bottom left. Bottom left is Mackerel Desert, once called Tuna Desert. Once here, I'm just gonna head to where Pancake World is, and then straight up from there. Wait a minute, that's actually very funny. The tracker says that this is Mackerel Desert, but when you go to the side area, it's called Tuna Desert again. Interesting. Now, Egyptian Rave Dungeon is a lot easier than it looks. It's just straight up from here, around this building. There's a rainbow-colored Moai. Interacting with this Moai will send you to Dream Easter Island. I interact with whatever this thing is, and I enter Funeral Prison. Now, once I'm here, I have a very interesting task. I need to get caught by one of the chasers. And there's a chaser over here. And I'm taken to Floating Brain World. Now, if I use the bat effect... Oh, I got the tail! That's actually that's quite rare. Bingo. The spike has moved, and I can now pass. And we're almost there. This is Spike Alley. I always forget the path through here. I'm always so focused on Floating Brain World. This area always slips through my memory. And then green, and then... okay. There we are. We've arrived at Voxel Island, finally. Only took, what, 20 minutes? Still better than my first attempt, that's for sure. Okay. And then I forget where you go? It's over here. First time I was here, I walked right past this, but this is worth doing. Because killing this little goober will give 7,777 Yume. Now, let's talk about the second way that you can access this area. Let me go ahead and wake up. Oh, I got one of these. Don't mind this. This is a random event that happens. This is a random event that happens after, I believe, after killing a certain number of NPCs. I'll go ahead and save. Why not, right? But same mechanisms as before. I need Drum to be stored in Trophy Room, and I need it to be my favorite effect. But also, this rack right here determines the in-game season. And it's at, I think this is summer right now because of the shirt. I need it to be autumn, which is represented by a little pair of socks hung on the windowsill. So I need to repeatedly wake up. Hang on. This isn't a random event. This isn't random. It's based on a number. I think what I need to do, if this doesn't make it autumn, I might have to go kill something. Oh, never mind. I made it autumn. We're good. Now that we have that, we can embark on a different, but also quite complicated route. Let me head to... where are you? Graveyard World. Not the place where these big expeditions usually take place, but I swear there's a reason for it. Right over here is Red Lily World. Red Lily Lake, rather. And up here, this thing with a shadow will change the landscape of the world. When interacting with it normally, it becomes the red variant. In this state, if you interact with it using Child, it will become cyan. And then I'll head to the left a little bit. Where are you? Yeah, this little goober. Will take me to Candy World. And then from there, I can head to Constellation World. Now I head down a ways, and I find a certain little tile right here. This tile can send you to one of I believe it's 3 random constellations. The one I'm looking for, of course, is Libra. And I got it first try. I believe it's Libra, Scorpio, and Gemini? I don't know my astrology signs. I forget which ones are autumn. I know Libra and Scorpio I remember for certain. But if you remember, we're back in Libra Palace. So from here, I can just go straight to Maroon Gravehouse. And it really doesn't save that much time. It's more of just a matter of personal preference. Whether you want to do Omurice Labyrinth or whether you want to do this, I think they amount to around the same amount of time. But this one is a lot more enjoyable, mainly because you don't have to deal with constantly looking back and forth at the map of Omurice Labyrinth. At least for me. But again, personal preference, personal preference. We head straight up, we find Trophy Animal Land, a little bit up and across to find the deer with its eyes still intact. There you are. And from here, it's business as usual. I'm tempted if I want to keep actually doing this route or if I want to stop, because from here it is completely identical. You go through Grand Beach to Wounded Turtle World to Floating Brain World, set the necessary point with Bat, go back, go to Funeral Prison. It's all the exact same stuff. This is just a different method to get there. But I will hang on. Let me just one more time go over all of the effects that you need, because I'm a dingus and I didn't properly explain everything that you needed. So, to recap, you need Bike. Obviously, it's just nice to have movement speed. And specifically, no matter what route you're doing, you will always need Drum and Eyeball Bomb. Drum is for entering Drumfolk Village and Silhouette Complex, technically. And Eyeball Bomb is for leaving Floating Brain World after setting the point with Bat. And of course you also need Bat. Specifically for the secondary route, you also need Child in order to access the side area of Red Lily Lake. So I'll leave a list of the effects that you need in the description. In the future, I'll try to be a bit more explicit with the effects that you need, so I apologize for that. For now, though, I think that'll about do it, and I think I'm going to do a couple of these with various very deep locations. I'll probably do one of Depths, I'll do one of Tomb of Velides, Lavender Waters, you know the type. But for the time being, I think that's all I got. Thanks so much for watching, y'all.